Hey, what's up, everybody? Glad to see that you've made it this far. Now, you get to see the truth. Thanks for sticking it out. Click like, subscribe, share this video with everyone. Here's the proof that you needed to see. This is how the storms were created. This is how almost all the storms are forced. And yes, chemtrails are real. And here's the proof.
Just want to show you, does this look normal to you? Technology off the west coast of Africa on these islands. One island is Funchal, the other one is Santa Cruz, Tenerife. And you can see, this tiny little island. And you see all these spindles coming out of it. This is not normal. So this is not natural. And it's all going in this direction where currently Hurricane Jose and Hurricane Irma are. About to hit the east coast, Florida, and over here we have more islands off the west coast of Africa over here. These are Santa Cruz Islands, and you can totally see the same kind of frequencies coming out of these islands. They're very small islands, and you can see these frequencies coming out of them because they have this technology there. And it's this technology, going to zoom out a little bit, is creating these spindles, so to speak, right? You can totally see all of these and all of these. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So where is it all going? So it's all creating pressure. It's going down here. This is the direction where it's going. And guess what we have here? We have Hurricane Jose right over here going right after Hurricane Irma. It's already over Cuba. Okay, so we're actually going to go back in time. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to see what's happening day by day. And we're going to go back to September 7th. Nothing here, but let's look at the ones above. The ones above are pretty active. You can see the rays coming out from the points of these islands, and they're creating these spindles in the clouds because these spindles represent frequencies that they're using to give power to these storms. Look at this island, the Funchal Island. It's covered by clouds, nothing here, and then you see these spindles coming out right from this island. Okay, I live in Hawaii, and as you know, Hawaii is a set of islands. Nothing like that here. We never see this kind of weird spindles and just craziness over here, right? So all of these tiny islands, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see that there's a bunch of little islands here. And from each one, there's some kind of frequency coming out. And where it's going? Well, like I showed you, it's going towards Jose, and we're going to go back in time to September 6th to see what's happening. Again, there's no Photoshop. This is all, you can check it out by searching for NASA Worldview. We're going to zoom in here, back to these islands. Look at that. Same kind of thing. This is September 6th. Same kind of thing. These spindles, they're using this frequency technology. It's probably HARP based in combination with chemtrails. And weather modification, it's nothing new. They've been trying to modify weather for at least 50 years. It's not a new technology. If you do your research, you will know that they are creating at least partially climate change, and at least partially global warming or global cooling, whatever you want to call it, and also these super storms. Look at these frequencies. This is crazy. And it's all going towards Jose. Zoom in a little bit. Back to these islands. So it looks like a lot of chemtrails because these are not clouds. All this, it's not fog either. You can still see little lines coming out, but not very active. I'm going to go down a little bit to see more chemtrails over here. Okay, this is more clear over here, not so many chemtrails, but over here you can see all this fog. That's chemtrails, because they need to spray metallic particulates in the atmosphere in order to use these frequencies, and these frequencies like HARP frequencies and metallic particulates in the atmosphere, they work together to control these storms, add power to it, steer it, or break it down. So they totally have this technology. And then so over here, gonna look at the bottom set of islands off the west coast of Africa called Cabo Verde. Again, a bunch of little islands in a semicircle, and they have a similar technology here. And I'm gonna go back in time, September 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. So first you can see that over here it's active again. September 1st, it's active, because you can see the same kind of spindles that we saw in the other islands north of Cabo Verde Islands. Same kind of technology that they're using. These it looks like almost like pi based frequencies or sine wave frequencies. So let's zoom out a little bit. And where is it pointing? Well, in this case, these frequencies are pointing into this formation. And let's go back in time. These formations become hurricanes, by the way. I'm gonna go back in time, August 31st. So over here, this is August 28th, and we actually went all the way back to the home place of birth of Hurricane Irma. Okay, if you go to August 28th and you look up the Cabo Verde Islands, Hurricane Irma is right here. It's not yet a hurricane. It's just a bunch of clouds, possibly mixed with chemtrails, that are kind of getting together. And guess where they're getting together? They're getting together in the area where these frequencies, these installations exist in those islands, Cabo Verde. So in this case, we're going to go forward a little bit. Let's see where we're at. Okay, Cabo Verde, I'm going to center it. So this is August 29th. So you can see that this is Cabo Verde, and this is Hurricane Irma before it was officially a hurricane. Now it's finally came into shape, more circular shape. There's no eye yet, but it formed right above Cabo Verde Islands, where these technologies exist. So let's go forward again in time, August 30th. Boom. You can totally see now it's creating a classic hurricane looking spindle. You know, the arms of the hurricane over here, the bottom arm, the upper arm. Cabo Verde is right here. So this Hurricane Irma over here was born where these frequencies exist. We're going in time, going forward in time. Boom. And look, now it has the eye. This is August 31st. It already has the eye. This is Irma. And it's gaining more and more power. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So the islands that we were looking at, they're pretty tiny, but they're right here is the one set, and the other set is pretty much over here. It's important that we talk about these kind of things and not put a blind eye to it, because this technology also exists on the other side of the planet, going over here to United States, actually Baja California. There's an island called Guadalupe Island, and it uses the same kind of technology. And the reason I know this is because I've been tracking this one for a while. Guadalupe Island is right here. Guadalupe Island, tiny island. Nobody knows about it, but guess what? There is a military base on this island, and a lot of the technologies, if you look with a satellite, you can't see them because they're photoshopped out, because they don't want you to see certain things that are out here. But this is September 2nd, September 3rd, September 4th, And guess where it's shooting? Usually it shoots down to create hurricanes that go towards Hawaii. This time around, it looks like it's shooting up because there's another hurricane that's going towards Mexico in the Gulf. So it's pointing in that direction right now. Look at that. You can totally see the spindles. This isn't Pacific Ocean. The other islands were in the Atlantic Ocean. And this is off the coast of Baja California, Guadalupe Island. Let's go forward in time. Now it's shooting down. See the spindles coming out of it? Going down. Just going forward in time. I mean, if you think this is natural, this is September 7th. If you think this is natural right here, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, well, I hope this opens up eyes of certain people and hopes everyone see that you know, these events are not completely natural occurring. Just like messing with DNA, the mad scientists are also messing with weather, different kinds of chemical substances, you name it, anything you can put your hands on. Mad scientists want to control it. The elites want to control it. That's why they're messing with it. Weather modification, nothing new. Although to some who haven't done their research, it might be new, but it's not a conspiracy theory. It's a complete reality. And check out other videos. There's lots of videos showing proofs. There's people, whistleblowers, and scientists speaking out and uncovering these realities. So thanks for watching.
You know, they were
and
talking
until next
about
time,
climate change
stay
yesterday, and now we're learning that scientists and researchers are looking at how to change the weather on purpose. That's right. Lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see you. Extraordinary seeing Al Gore and Bill Clinton there together with Charlie, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, they did not get into this discussion,
No.
though. But it is fascinating. I mean, lasers, really, to change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning.
Go ahead.
Well, this fascinates me in part because, too, I remember reading the stories that China had used this during the Olympics, that the USSR had used this after Chernobyl to create rain clouds. I mean, did those really work then? We have some of these capabilities now?
Inconclusive. Even in the 60s, the CIA used this to bring down monsoons during the Vietnam War, to wash out the Viet Cong. Governments have been playing with this thing.
Alleged to.
Alleged to, right.
Yeah.
Now, we realize that for decades now, these governments have been alleged to have experimented with weather control, but nothing conclusive. This time we're bringing in the laws of physics rather than simply waving our hands and uttering mumbo-jumbo. We're actually using trillion-watt lasers now. And in the laboratory, sure enough, they precipitate rain out of water vapor. Sure enough, you can actually bring down electricity down the beam.
So what does it mean for drought areas that need to have rain for crops? And if they don't have them, there's the consequences of famine.
Well, the bad news is if it's a clear blue sky, it's not going to do anything at all because it only takes water vapor that's already in the air and condenses it. However, for floods, for agriculture, farmers, for people planning wedding parties, football games, you name it, outdoor events and agriculture and flooding and even hurricanes, all of them could be subject to weather modification.
Incredibly interesting, Professor Michio Kaku. Thank you so much.